Hello everyone, right next to me is a car that's going to scare Tesla, Polestar and BYD, and I have to warn you all, it is very expensive. That's right, it is the Xpeng G6, an interesting competitor against the likes of the Tesla Model Y and maybe the Polestar 3, but certainly something from BYD, like the Sea Lion. And it's funny I just mentioned Sea Lion because this bad boy over here costs only 52,000 euros. I gotta give it to them, I really like the aerodynamic design combined with those alloys. Hold on a second guys, is it just me or does this look like Jaguar a little bit? The exterior looks amazing, but the interior is very much on the simple side, everyone. Now check the link in the description for my other YouTube videos where I review the competitors against this bad boy over here, everyone. Now, not too long ago, I had the pleasure of reviewing an Xpeng sedan. I don't exactly remember the model name, but what I remember of it is that the front door had scissor doors, basically. So that's where it's like a Lamborghini, the door will open upwards, which was cool, but in my opinion, a little bit pointless. Now, the thing about Chinese car manufacturers is that they have really great value for money. They offer you an interesting EV, which is at a very low price compared to that of Tesla and the German competitors. This is excellent. But at the same time, on the other side of the scale, it seems as if that the Xpeng G6 suffers a little bit of an identity crisis because from the exterior, I have mixed feelings. Looking at the front design, it feels like a mishmash between Tesla, BYD and Hyundai a little bit, because I noticed Hyundai has also been obsessing with this round edge front lately. And you also have a 360-degree parking camera with parking sensors at the front and at the rear. I have to confess, there's something about these 5-spoke alloys that look very good on this Xpeng. They give it a sporty look from a distance. Then as we approach the side and the rear, it looks very much as if it was inspired by a Jaguar. Because if I look at it from this angle, the design of the rear lights, they look very Jaguar-ish. And then also as we approach the rear, it's, it looks like something Jaguar and Stellantis have been obsessing over with. Now, not too long ago, I had the pleasure of reviewing the Hyundai Ioniq 9. And the funny thing is, this interior brings me a bit of memories of the Hyundai Ioniq 9. Great family SUV, and that too, it was electric, guys. But the thing is, the quality of the material was not exactly my cup of tea, in my opinion, guys. It was just something I wasn't exactly a fan of. And then I see something similar happening in this Xpeng G6. It's just, they've gone down the route between Tesla and Hyundai. That's the thing I'm seeing here. It seems like a mishmash between Tesla and Hyundai. Now, the steering wheel has a little bit of an oval shape. It's a 2-spoke steering wheel, very much on the simple side. And I'm assuming all the controls are on the infotainment screen, which we will look together, everyone. We'll look at the infotainment system and the instrument cluster together later in the video. Your transmission is just right here next to the steering wheel. You have your wiper controls over here, all for windows, buttons over here. And to open the door, there's a button you have to press. So it's, again, they've gone down the route of simplicity here, which is something I'm not a fan of. But then to be fair, they're not the only ones on the boat here. Now you get cup holders that are just right here in the middle, as if they were a bit of an afterthought. There's no trim or any cover for them. And then also another problem I've noticed is that the air vents are all the way here. Now, let's say you put a tall object over here, and it won't obstruct the way of the air vent. And also you have to keep the air vents upwards all the time, because putting it downwards is pointless. It'll just blow the air to whatever's here in this area. You want the air flowing upwards. So there's just a bit of things that I think that are a bit of an afterthought. And to be honest, I noticed this also not too long ago in the Neo car I had the pleasure of reviewing as well, a Neo estate wagon. I look upwards and I noticed you have a panoramic roof, guys. It's great. For the rest, the interior gives me a lot of Tesla vibes. But I kind of like this wooden trim they kept here. But there's a little bit of a problem. The wooden trim over there is a little bit too random for me, because it's only there and then it's nowhere else to be seen across the interior. I don't see it here. I don't see it onto the door. I see the wooden trim only there. And then what's funny is that right underneath the wooden trim, you're greeted with hard plastic, guys. Central console storage is very deep, though. I give you that. When it comes to practicality, this car has a lot of magic, I tell you. The door bin is very good, actually. And there's a latch hidden down there to open the door in case there's a malfunction with the button. At least that's my assumption, you know, in case the door doesn't work for whatever reason. And then there's additional storage space underneath over here. We're gonna have a look at the infotainment system. So one thing that should be noted is that you get this big tablet over here. The interior is very typical for that of an EV, so there's nothing really surprising. Like when I saw this interior, I almost barely could tell what was the major difference. So here we go, everyone. There's even Instagram, there's even YouTube. You can do social media in here. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Okay, let's look for my YouTube channel, guys. Let's search AutoChamp Wandelen. Let's see if these guys recognize me. Ha ha ha. Oh, what did I write? AutoChamp. Yes, they recognize me. Hooray! Hooray, everyone. Hey, let's see if we can subscribe to my channel. Okay, I have to log in, guys. Okay, but see, this is the thing. So here you can watch YouTube and you can even watch your maps. It's almost like a smartphone or your tablet at home. This is really how practical it is. Now, I think this is an Android system it's using. I'm not exactly sure, but the quality of the map itself is really top. It's really good. But when it comes to minor details like inclination or showing me where there's a hill or everything, I feel like that's where the Volkswagen Group takes the trophy, because the Volkswagen Group, they like showing you the hills and the rivers and everything. Whereas this map looks very Android-ish, and everything, but it does have live traffic, which is something very useful. I had the chance of using it today. And then over here is your instrument cluster, everyone. Now, just like the Geely Group, they seem to have humbled their instrument cluster. Now, I don't know about historic instrument clusters within the Xpeng brand, but it seems like it's just going to show you the speed. It's just going to show you the autonomy of the battery, how much battery you have left, and it's just going to show you some other technical details and warning lights. That's all. Whereas I think the instrument cluster in BMW and the Volkswagen Group, they are more interesting because they show you more details. I like it, especially with Audi's virtual cockpit. That was very interesting. That's really nice. And also what BMW has going on, and also what Mercedes has. So I'm not exactly a fan of what Geely and Xpeng have been doing, but then to be fair, it is a unique way of approaching things, because a small instrument cluster can be less distracting. So that way the driver is forced to look at the road ahead rather than concentrating too much on what's being shown over here. Now over to the rear seats, it's very interesting what I'm seeing over here, because it is very spacious and at the same time it gives me very strong Tesla vibes. At least it kind of reminds me of my experience in the backseat of a Tesla, guys. It's just windows everywhere, and the panoramic sunroof really plays in with the experience. But one thing that should be noted is that the pillars are thick, and especially the side, that's really thick. And at the same time, there's just a lot of legroom, although my feet room is a bit limited for some reason. But the knee room is plentiful. The headroom is great. Let's adjust the seat a little bit. There we go. And then we get this armrest over here, but there we go. We have two cup holders over here. That's very interesting. So the back seat is very, very nice. The door bins are good. And I like this little bit of arch you get for your speaker. That's very interesting what's going on. And now we're going to have a look at the boot space together. It's going to be very interesting what I'm seeing. Ooh. And when it comes to the boot space, it is quite spacious. And then you also get some additional space underneath for some repair kit. It's really good. But the floor isn't adjustable, and I don't see any tether point on the side. I only see a 12-volt socket over there. You get to the boot lip over here, and there's no exposed body paint. So it's a bit of a hit or miss. One moment there's practicality, next moment there's something missing. So here's my conclusion of the Xpeng G6. For a price of 52,000 euros, I felt like this is an average EV crossover of the day. I failed to see what exactly stood out from this Xpeng G6, because the Xpeng sedan I reviewed was more interesting in my opinion. It had some more interesting things to deliver. A nice sedan that's great value for money, including with scissor doors. That's a rare touch, I tell you. But this, I cannot exactly tell what exactly was rare about it. For the interior, there was only one single theme, and then also there were some things that conflicted with each other. Like for instance, the wooden trim, and then underneath you have the plastic that felt very budget. So I was not exactly sure what was I supposed to expect. There was a mishmash of themes. But then, to be fair, this is the Xpeng G6 is not alone. There are many car manufacturers that suffered this similar problem. However, I see great potentials for this Xpeng G6 as an interesting EV to be using in the cities, and also it will be a fantastic company vehicle. I tell you that right now. But is it my favorite choice? I'm going to be honest, for a price of 52,000 euros, I found the interior a little bit on the bland side compared to the BYD Sea Lion 7. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and push the notification button, and check the link in the description for my car reviews. And I will see you all next time. Bye.